Hi guys, welcome back to the I Rise with the Sun channel. My name is Yami. This is a channel where we not only grow together, but we rise together. And on this growth and rising journey, we're going to talk about Bibles. You know what? I'm a really big fan of the regular old-fashioned type of Bible. I have one. I have had a few in my lifetime. This is one that my sister gave me, and it's pretty good. It's pretty basic. It's got everything I would need inside of it. I can just highlight it, all the things that I like, all the things that I need. You can find these in multiple different versions. You can find ESV, NLT, all the different ones. I'm not going to sit here and list them all, but essentially this was great for me, but it wasn't enough. And so then my friend got me a Bible that looks like this one, but then the sides have like note-taking space. But on some of the sides, there's a lot of different like coloring things, like there's Bible verses on the sides and things like that, and that was cute, but it left me feeling like I was missing something because I wasn't able to fully fill in the sides. And then there's another Bible which I'm gonna link also, which I think it's by NLT or something, but it's got on both sides. It's got blank spaces, but there's no lines. And if you're like somebody who writes crooked, then that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. So I didn't end up going with that. However, I was introduced to the world of journaling Bibles. We're gonna see which one's the best one. We're gonna see which one's the best when it comes to the aesthetic, when it comes to the options available, where it comes to literally everything. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna go through the websites. We're gonna talk about where to locate these things. We're gonna talk about the price range. We're gonna talk about the interior of them. We're gonna talk about how they feel. We're gonna talk about durability. Literally, we're gonna talk about everything. At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you guys which of these Bibles I prefer most so that you can make your decision. If you're a girly who and I remember in middle school, I was in this AVID class, which was called Advanced Via Determination, and they were having us do Cornell notes. And so I don't know, like that type of style of writing, taking notes, asking questions, putting my thoughts in on the side of the things that I read is just so important to me. So these are the Bibles that I'm gonna use throughout my whole life. These are Bibles that I use to go deeper, to take those really, really good notes, to go off, to draw things if I want to draw things, to ask questions if I want to ask questions, to explain things in detail, to do my research and have it right next to the actual Word of God. Let's not waste any more of your precious time. Let's get into this Bible face-off. So I am going to change the camera angle a little bit so that you guys can see, and I'm going to put it on my desk so you guys can see the differences between both of the Bibles. I will say this Bible does not come with these little side thingies. These do not come with the Bible, and you would have to purchase them separately, but I can link it below. The next thing I'm going to go over is the layout of their websites, or like at least how you can find them, because sometimes that goes into a lot of the factor of why people decide to buy them or not, based on how easy you can navigate to their respective websites and things like that. All right, so this is spiralbible.com. You can see the layout is pretty clean. It has all the different bundles that they have, and then different single books depending on obviously the cover that you like and also the version that you'd like. They have KJV, they have the Modern Web Translation, they have NLT, NET, they have a bunch of different ones, and they have a devotional. I just noticed, very cool. They even have, if I scroll down a little further down, they have Spiral Bible for Men, Kids Bibles, and now this is the ESV journaling website. They have a few journal Bibles, but this is the only spiralized one. And if you scroll down, you can see the full bundle there, which I'm going to click on now. Actually, no, I'm not going to click on it. Oh, it looks like they have other versions of the Spiral Bible. I'm so sorry to Luli Wallace, but your cover art is not it. Love you so much, sister or brother in Christ. Now, this is the full bundle with all the beautiful colors. We already saw the prices earlier. And this is where you can find it on Amazon for the full bundle versus the single. Starting off with the first one, we have the Spiral Bible. We have already seen on the website that they have many different versions available. So they have the World English Bible, they have the NLT, and they have a few other variations of the Bible that you can get. They have it in Spanish, which is really, really cool. The New Testament, the World English Bible, we can see the Word of God for note takers. There's a hashtag here at the bottom that says Spiral Bible. Their Instagram that says Spiral Bible on there as well. Made in the USA. The Spiral Bible logo at the top here. I want to talk about the side. So here you can see that this is a plastic spiral. It's pretty intact. It reminds me a lot of the, what's it called? The 5 5. Do you know which notebooks I'm talking about? I'm going to link that too. They're the big chunky college style notebooks. This reminds me a lot of the chunky college style notebooks. So the interior right here, I also did this Bible highlighting code. If you want that, I can definitely link that below and give you a downloadable version of that. But as you can see that it's a little bit flimsy. It's just a regular notebook cover. It's actually just like any cover that you would find at any store, at the Dollar Tree, at wherever you find notebooks. This is the kind of cover that you will get. And it starts off, you have the New Testament, the World English Bible, property of. I'm gonna blur out my number, but that's my name. Has the logo again, the word of God for note takers. One thing I love is that it kind of gives you an introduction of what you're supposed to do with it, how it's going to help you, a little bit of information and motivation to get you going. I do love that aspect of it. Also, this New Testament 1 year Spiral Bible reading plan is amazing, especially if you're trying to read the Bible in the year, which I'm trying to read it now. Did I finish reading this in a year? No. And also I read way more than that. I just forgot to check it off. So did I find much use in it? Not really, but if you're that type of girly or guy, then you know that this is here and that it works. We start off the page with a blank slate page for notes. And so I got some things here that I have written, and it has a backside too, which is really, really helpful, especially if you need to take more notes at the very beginning. Jumping right in, we see that we have this nice circled, barriered off from the side where it says notes, the Gospel of Matthew, and also all the other chapters, which is amazing. We have the numbers in brackets, which is something interesting that I liked. And then the lines on the side directly correlate with the lines in the brackets so that you know exactly where you're taking your notes and exactly where you're going to find the corresponding verse. Just a random thing that I noticed is, see how at the top there's 2 little lines? Not sure what that's about. Don't love that. But that's there, and that's only just a small little nitpicky thing if I had to be nitpicky. I love the fact that at the bottom here, I hope you can see it. You cannot see it. Let me move it up. I like the fact that at the bottom here, you can see the numbers on each and every single page. That's amazing because that helps me know exactly where I'm going, especially if I take notes outside of this, if I'm bringing in another journal, or if I'm bringing in the very front of the page where I can take extra notes. I can reference which page number I'm on, and every single page has a number. Love that. I love that I can see at the corner the Gospel of Matthew, so when I'm flipping through, I know exactly where I am, even if I did not have these additional side tabs. So those are just some of the things. Let me show you how I've definitely gotten a lot of use out of this baby. I with my highlighting color code, I was able to really dive in. I can get into, not only on the sides, but I can get into the actual text because there's enough space. It's chunky. It's good for people who are hard of seeing. It's really good for people who like to dive in and comment on every single part of it. It's good for chunky highlighters. It's good for tiny little annotations. I'm going to show you a page where I did a full illustration. Hold on. Let me find it. You have additional notes that you can add on to it. You can just go on and on and on with your notes. Oh, this is a perfect example of a day when I didn't want to take as many notes and I just wanted to color. And this was a perfect option for me. This aligned perfectly with the verses that I was on. I just followed the lines right here, and then I drew a picture here. So this is definitely a very creative style journal, and it really got my juices flowing. Some of the things I will point out. I'm going to flip it over to the complete backside. The back is another piece of, like, I guess I would call it sheet material. It's just a regular cardboard backing, which is better than the front of the book, of course. But if you look on this part, you can see that I have tape because this started coming apart very, very easily, very quickly. I haven't even gone through half of this book yet, and it's already ripping in the back, which is something that breaks my heart. And it's only going to get worse. There's not much that I can do to solve this issue because it's so thinly reinforced. Like literally it's reinforced by a thin little piece. It's starting to rip down here also. There's not really much I can do. And it almost feels like the spirals on the side here are a little too, they're a little too small for the thickness of the book. Like it's almost even. Like if you go there, there's maybe like half of a centimeter, maybe less of space. And I feel like if they were a little more chunky, then they would have more room. And maybe even if these guys were a little bit bigger and these were a little smaller or something, then we would be able to have less breakage. And honestly, I would even pay more for a more sturdy back so that I can have this, because it really is just, look at it. It's beautiful. It's practical. It's amazing. I'm trying to see what else I can talk about before I move on. I haven't gotten too far, but I have done quite a few. I love this Bible. I feel like I can be fully myself in this Bible, which is interesting, it's very interesting to say that, but this is just authentically what's coming to my mind. Why is that? I guess we'll kind of dive into that a little bit more, but let's get into the next set of Bibles and we can talk about it further. Okay, this year I started to read the ESV Notebook Bible. Now, this brand is specifically produced through the brand English Standard Bible, which is a specific brand of translation for the Bible, if that makes sense. So essentially what I'm saying is you cannot find this Bible in any other translation. This is the one and only translation that I have seen it in thus far. As of yet, I have not seen it in a Spanish translation or anything like that. So this is very specific and particular to this Bible translation, and which is fine. Some Bible translations, I don't know how to describe it, but they almost are able to sell their own products without being tied to any of the other biblical translations if they get the right copyright and other things like that, whatnot. So this is an example of that. This is the ESV Bible. And now I showed you all the different colors at the beginning, but essentially they're all the same, and they have this copper this copper spiral that I genuinely love, and it's sealed all the way through, and the holes are bigger, which is already something that I love. But yeah, if I'm looking at it straight away, I'm opening it up. It has the little ESV logo in the center, the word Pentateuch, and each of the Bibles has the different name for the different part of the Bible that we're reading. Believe it or not, Spiral Bible does the exact same thing. So you're getting the same kind of quality there. If we open you up, what do we see? Okay, this is bound almost like a hardcover book. So it's got a little piece of paper that's glued down, making sure all the edges are secure, and it's a standalone piece. It's not bendable. I mean, it is, you can bend it, but it's pretty much like a solidified cardboard thing. You open it up and see Spiral Bound Journaling Bible. Flip to the next page. Logo, same thing again, English Standard Version, Pentateuch. This is the ESV.org website that produces these notebooks that you can also find, which I mentioned earlier. You can find them at this website. You open it up, you get the contents, you get the publication information, which I didn't mention the last time, but there was a page on the other one with publication information also. We have a preface. This kind of gives you the same thing that we were getting in the other one. It's a little bit more formal, I would say. It breaks down why this specific translation is used in this Bible. So if you're new to this translation, it'll tell you why. I will tell you right now, after going to Bible school, my pastors would always say that the ESV version was the best version in the whole world. So I don't have any problem with this translation, but it tells you why they use this translation. And they go more into it, like literally everything that you need to know is in here, which is pretty awesome. It doesn't really tell you why they specifically chose to make this a spiral notebook, but it does give you information on the actual translation itself, which is pretty neat. Right into it. We're going right into the book of Genesis, and from here you can see I haven't really gone too deep into the note taking as of yet. And the reason for that is because I decided to start the Bible over and do the Bible in a year from Genesis. And I decided in order for me to actually be able to finish the entirety of the Bible, I couldn't study. I only needed to ask questions. So would this Bible look exactly the same creative-wise as the other one? I don't know. And here's why. I don't feel as creative in this Bible, not yet. And maybe it's only because I haven't given myself the liberty to do all the things that I want, like the highlighting and the swirling and the twirling and all the crazy girly stuff. As you can see, I have not given it as much love, but again, it is because I'm in a different mental space. I'm asking questions. I'm still taking notes that come to my mind. I'm talking about what I'm feeling as I read it. Like I'm asking the Lord deep spiritual questions and hoping that they'll be revealed later on in the text. But next year, I hope to go in and really highlight and really answer the questions that I've been asking. So even to that degree, would I feel as comfortable to go into this style of Bible and do the same things I was doing in the other Bible? I don't know if I would get into the illustrations that I would. This is definitely a more clear-cut, almost academic seeming book. Although the other Spiral Bible is pretty much copied off of the regular note-taking system that we use in college, I still feel like this is more of an academic style of a Bible. I don't know how else to describe that, but I have gotten pretty far in it and I have really enjoyed it thus far. I will say the lines, although they are there, they don't equally match up with every specific verse. And some of the verses are hidden within, like if, let's do a verse by verse. Let's do a side by side. Okay, if we look at them side by side and we open it up to the first page that I can, and then we do the same with this book. Let's see. I'm opening it up to a random page. We are noticing, oh, look at that. All right, so first thing I'm noticing is the color is different. If you are the type of girly or gentleman that likes to have a more white-based paper to write on, then this one is the one for you because obviously you can see that it's a pure white color. This one is an off-white color. Is it noticeably yellow? Not necessarily, but it is a lot darker than this one. Size-wise, they're almost identical. This one's a little bit shorter. This one also has page numbers, which actually I didn't realize until just now. So that's amazing. It has page numbers. This one, like I said, every single verse starts off on this left side and you can see them in brackets and they're very obvious and they're not starting verses in the middle, but this side of the story here, you can see that there's verses. Sorry if it's shaking. You can see that there are verses starting midway through the sentences, which can be a little confusing because I'll give you an example. Right here, I said, explain this story, verses 1 through 20. I did this because I wasn't sure that I would remember next year where I was talking about because I wasn't aligning it properly. Does that make sense? It wasn't aligned like this version is. So I would have to just go in and make sure that I'm reading and writing the right things and even writing little annotations that show me exactly where I need to go. So that's one of the differences for sure. I like that each section is labeled a different name. I haven't seen this yet in the Spiral Bible, how it says Isaac and Rebecca, and then it comes over here and it says, hold on, Jacob's prosperity, Jacob's children, etc., etc. I love that about this one, that it has different titles for different sections because it helps me read smoother. It helps me know when to cut off to. If I'm reading a lot and I need a break, it helps me just cut it off where I need to cut it off, sometimes even before the chapter ends. This side, I've yet to see where that takes place. It's just kind of straight all the way through. I might have to do something with the version, but I would have to double check the other Spiral Bibles in different versions to see if that's the case. What else? I'm trying to see what other differences. If we go to the back, we've already seen, oh, wait a minute. Coming back to the ESV, we have a little extra stuff at the end. Weights and measurements. Do I find this all, how do I say this? I don't find this helpful. I don't find this very helpful. I won't use this at all. I wish it was something else. I wish maybe there was a few pages of regular note taking like the journal, like the Spiral Bible was. But I will say that the back of this Bible is just as sturdy as the front. It is that hard cardboard, does not bend easily. And it's just really nice. Like, I enjoy this. Have I seen some damage to this? Yes, I have. If you can see, this corner right here has been damaged, probably by my own doing. Because I like to prop it up on my legs, or my dog likes to play with me sometimes when I'm trying to read my Bible. And this, not sure how it could have happened, but it's there. Is this the only damage so far? I mean, yeah, honestly. Okay, So now that I kind of went over every single one of the differences and whatnot of this book, I feel like we can just kind of sit down and talk about which one I like most and which one I feel like is the best bang for your buck and which one you hopefully decide to choose. So at the end of the day, which one would I choose? And honestly, this is a really difficult decision. But I would say, this is what I will say. I would say that if the Spiral Bible had a little bit more structural integrity, then I would choose this one. Genuinely. Because I love the cute designs. I like the aesthetic that's going on. I like that I feel super creative and almost like a kid again when I'm reading these and going through this. I love the fact that the brackets in the verses are included on the left side so that I can easily line up every single verse to the side. I just love it. I love it. Do I think that it can be built a little bit stronger? 100%. I feel like this is the only reason I wouldn't get these and I haven't gotten the rest of these is because of that. Because I haven't even gotten a fourth of the way through this and it's already breaking to the point that I feel scared to continue using it at all. Like I don't even want to use it at all because I know that at some point these little hinges are going to break off and I'm not going to be left with a back cover at all, which is fine. I could still use it, but it's just that alone is going to bring the rating down for me. I would say because of that, ooh, yikes. What would I rate this? I would rate this, and I'm not being scientific here at all. Honestly, if I were to rate it overall out of 10, I would have to give it a 6.5. That sounds terrible. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7, and that's what we're going with, and it's a 7, and I love you, Spiral Bible, and you're the first girly I saw before I saw this one, so let's talk about her. She is super aesthetic. She's super clean. She is super sturdy. She is very, very beautiful. She's very, very well laid out. She is aesthetic on the inside as well as on the outside. Definitely less cutesy. I can see a guy really tearing into this and not feeling like they're getting into something that's too girly, although they do have some more like I guess manly or unisex Bibles on the Spiral Bible website. I still feel like this one is probably one that's more in the unisex kind of front. Color wise, internally, all the things. Love the fact that it's got this copper, whatchamacallit. And I like the fact that it's the perfect size and it just feels good and it doesn't feel like it's gonna break anytime soon. And for that, I'm trying to see if there's anything else I'm missing out. Even with the verses, right, being in the middle of the paragraphs, I still find that it's easy enough just to add a little verse annotation and say, hey, this specific question belongs to this specific verse. I think that's easy enough to do, that I won't knock off too many points. For the reason that I will be using this and I will be using it for years and years to come without any worries that it's going to completely shrivel up, I will give this an 8 out of 10. Yes, I will give this an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5, maybe a 9, maybe an 8.5. I will give it an 8.5 out of 10. These are just so awesome. I wish maybe they had more creative covers like the Spiral Bible, and I wish, that the brackets were on the side like I talked about, just so that I could have a clear look at what I'm writing about. But other than that, this is pretty solid, and I will not only use this for this year, but I will use it again next year because I'm planning to go back in, highlight, color, annotate, all kinds of stuff. And I know that it's not gonna break, and that is the most important thing for me because I don't use the Bible just once to look at it. I can see how maybe these are a good collectible item if you're not going to use them, but the amount of love that I've given the Spiral Bible and the amount of love I still have to give it, for it to break on me is not worth it, no matter how much it costs, no matter how cheap it is, no matter if it's on sale. If it's gonna break at the end of the day, I'm not buying it. So I might even knock it down to a 6. All in all, I ended up getting all of these for Christmas. And do I recommend them? Yes, I do recommend these. If you're going to get any, I would say get these. Unless you're just so obsessed with a color scheme or a Bible version, or if you're a Spanish speaker and they simply do not have the English Standard Version and the Spiral version in Spanish, then you could definitely get the Spiral Bible. I would say just make sure that every time you're using it, you're very, very careful about how you use it. If I were to go back and use the Spiral Bible differently, I wouldn't even hold it up like this. I would have it laid out flat on my desk, only at my desk, because I like to read in my Bible on my, on my bed. I like to read it in the living room. I like to read it with my dog in the next room. So I would just have it laid out flat, flipping from page to page, not putting it in any backpacks, because I was carrying this around everywhere. I was eating with it. Like I was loving on this Spiral Bible. But if I could do it again, I would just leave it on my table and use it that way. And honestly, if you love it enough, I say that's the best way to use it. Do I think you'll get enough use out of it that way? Absolutely not. If you're gonna read something for an entire year, you're gonna love on it. You're gonna love on it like I loved on this. And that's why this Spiral Bible will always have a special place in my heart. I love her so much. Genuinely, I wish she was more sturdy so I can give her even higher rating and buy all of her other books, but I sadly cannot. Yeah. With all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys. Let me know if you buy either the Spiral Bible or the ESV journaling Bible. Either way, you're going to get closer to the Lord. Like, I'm so happy that you're even thinking about getting closer to the Lord. I'm here to help you on your journey. I have podcasts. I have other videos to help you along your journey. I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that you get creative. And I'm just praying that the Lord is going to do an amazing thing in your new year, even if it doesn't matter which Bible you have. Even if you have the regular Bible I showed at the beginning, like, it doesn't matter. God just wants you to get closer to him. He wants you to build an intimate relationship with him. He wants you to know who he is and what his character is in the Bible, because you know what? Only 11% of Christians even read their Bible. So the fact that you're even watching this and that you're even considering reading the Bible puts you ahead of the game. And we need Christians who know their Bible. We need Christians who know Jesus. So thank you. With that, be well, be still. Bye.